how's it going? Myles here at Tactical Hyve, and today I want to review the Safariland Shooter's Range Backpack. Safariland sent this to us to review, and I can't believe it took me this long to find this backpack or to try this backpack. Because this range bag, or backpack specifically, addresses a lot of the pain points that I've had with other range bags I've used in the past. So if you're interested to hear my take on this bag, stay tuned. Welcome back. So the Safariland Shooter's Range Backpack. As I mentioned, I can't believe it took me this long to try out this bag. It's absolutely phenomenal to me. There are some shortcomings as well, but the pros completely outweigh the cons. First, I want to kind of tell you how I got here to this range backpack. So just like everyone else, when I first started shooting, I just picked anything out there or whatever was popular based on reviews. And I actually started with 3 bags shortly, one shortly after the other. So what I have on this table are the 3 bags I started with, and they look rather new because I learned quickly that they weren't the bags for me. So I started off with just this. I went to a 511 store and I just bought this because this was their gun bag, right? And it was great. It has pockets and things like that for everything I need, a lot of external pockets. But one thing I didn't like about this was, if you're carrying a lot of stuff, there's a shoulder strap, but literally I'd find myself walking everywhere, all my guns, everything, I'd be like this, leaning, and it wasn't very comfortable. Also, even if I wrapped it over my shoulder like that, I'd still find myself leaning because it got so heavy. And it was kind of clunky. Every time I was walking around, I'd hit things. And also inside, the more ammo I put and my guns, kind of like they were all intermingling, there weren't a lot of dividers inside to organize things neatly. But I did like the external pockets. But again, the main thing I didn't like was I had this shoulder strap. So to address that issue I had with the strap here, I moved on to Eberstock. And this was just a backpack that at that time I saw all over the web. And so I was like, oh, might be a good backpack to use for the range. Because it was a backpack. It was exactly what I liked. But first one, I didn't really worry too much about the size. I knew it was going to be smaller than this, but it really wasn't a range bag. Again, this is me brand new to shooting, and I bought this, and it didn't really have any pockets or anything like that. It does have a place for a gun right here where you can slide in like a small compact gun. But other than that, it really wasn't a range bag. This could be a field bag. So it's still pretty brand new because I didn't use it that much. The compartments were pretty small, and again, nothing really easy access on the outside. And so this looks brand new because it pretty much is, and I made this kind of a bug out bag. Then my newbie mind just thought about getting something bigger, and I didn't really think about the pockets. I just thought about space, right? And so I went to 511 again and just bought this. And it is pretty brand new and unused because I made this another bug out bag, but the same thing. They didn't really, it had more pockets, things on the outside, but it's not purpose built for a range bag. This is really their 72-hour bug out bag, but I was thinking about size. And even though this is a backpack, it's really clunky, it's really big. So this is kind of where I started, right? So I really didn't like any of these. And it wasn't until Dave, one of our subject matter experts, introduced me to Mystery Ranch's Rats Pack. And that was the bag I used as a range bag for quite some time. So this is the Rats Pack, and it is actually a medical bag, but it was repurposed as a range bag. And Dave showed me this, and after he showed it to me, it made perfect sense, and it addressed all of my concerns that I had with the 3 previous bags. One, it's a backpack, and it's very, very comfortable. And it just had these exterior pockets, these 3 big pockets. Even though there's only 3, they're huge, and you could store a lot of stuff on them. This top pocket is massive, right? And it was just great for easy access. If I needed my timers, iPro, all that stuff, and just easy access to other items right here. And what I liked the best about this, because it was a med bag, you could open this up, and it had all of these separate compartments that were Velcroed here. And you could put all of your tools, gear that fit in one particular category in each of these pouches and keep them neatly organized. Like, for example, this pouch right here is all med stuff, right? Med kits, things like that. And then this right here is cleaning tools. And so this kept it very organized. And there, there was a lot more other pockets here, different things. But again, this is primarily a med bag. The one thing that I didn't like about this though, is I had to always open it wide, just like this, to get a lot of other stuff on the inside. Okay, so if I was on the go, I'd have to open it back up, close it back up. So it took a little bit, but it wasn't really that bad. So that's why this became my go-to range bag. But I stuck out with this bag for quite some time because I really was just going to the range and just, set down all my gear and didn't really have to worry about getting up and moving around all the time. And at that time, I didn't carry my guns and ammo in my bag, primarily because there was never a place for that stuff in my bags, but I never really thought about it. Okay, so then fast forward to when I got exposed to the competitive world, and that opened my mind to the type of bag that I really wanted. So I was still using this for tactical training, but the competitive shooting bags out there had places for your guns, ammo, and other stuff. So let me show you those two bags. So in the competitive shooting world, I started using this bag at first. So I used the Rats pack, but then eventually I did this if I didn't want to bring a dolly or a cart with me. And so you can see this is big, it's wheeled, it can actually act as a backpack as well, but it's really clunky. I didn't like the fact that this was huge, right? But what I liked about this was there's a lot of compartments, and when I started carrying my pistol and things, so there are a lot of little pockets that you can use, but there's a designated area for your guns and your ammo, as you can see here, and another big area for other gear right inside. So this was perfect for me, but then I graduated from this because it was just really clunky, okay, as you can see here. And I kind of wanted the external pockets. So this had the compartments for a gun and ammo, but as I already talked about, I was looking for stuff on the outside because now I was more on the go, right? I didn't really, I reached a level of training where, and even just using bags where I was never really in one place. So for example, your typical shooter might be at a range, you just plop all your gear on the table, and that's fine because you're not moving around. But for me, I graduated from that. I was moving around a lot. And competitions also, I would have to take my gear from one stage to the other stage, okay? So from this, I moved on to another competitive shooting bag. From that competitive shooting bag, I moved on to this. Now, this cart comes with it also, but I started off with this. So this bag I liked a lot because it had a lot of external pockets, easy access gear, and then it had a secure place reinforced for your gun and ammo. So anything you don't want crushed can be put right here. And it was just generous space for everything else. Like you open this up, I mean, just a lot that you can put in here. And so I bought this cart as well because I would be moving around all over the place. That previous bag I showed you had wheels, so it's kind of like a roller luggage. And I didn't like it because it wasn't very rugged. So if you're in ranges all the time, you need something more rugged like this. And if you're moving around, this just became very helpful. But as you can tell, it's pretty large, pretty clunky. And if you just take the backpack, this is really big for the plane. It just still felt very wide, right? And I didn't like this bag because although you could put your gun and ammo in here, if I filled this up with ammo, okay, a lot of ammo cases or magazines, then I couldn't use this for a gun. I would have to use a sleeve and put it in here. So this would take up space and I couldn't put other stuff in here if I had to bring, let's say, 2 guns. So this is when I learned about the Safariland Shooter's Range Backpack. And you'll see why, just that little evolution, what I went through, you'll see why I like the backpack so much. All right, so back to the Safariland backpack. Knowing the background, you'll understand why I really like this bag. First, you have the external pockets for everything here, okay? This was really great for me, really clutch for me. This reinforced area for ammo, for anything you don't want to get crushed, you can put your guns in there. But it also has a separate place for your pistols. It actually comes with a dual pistol sleeve, just like this. And they designed it very well because it's hidden right here in the back, so it doesn't take up space inside of the bag, right? And it's padded here so you don't really feel it. So this sleeve, like as I mentioned, I have 2 CZ Shadows here, CZ Shadow 2s, and you don't really feel them at all. And I just thought that was a great design. I already mentioned the 3 pockets, easy access, so I didn't have to open the bag all the time, let's say like the Rats pack or the first 3 bags that I got before. Look at the footprint of this bag too. It's much smaller than any of the bags that I had, like the backpack style, except for the Eberstock. But the Eberstock was not really a range backpack. And it had this big pocket here on the top, just like the Rat's backpack, which I liked a lot because this is where I would always store a lot of stuff and get a lot of stuff in there. So this was great. And I would open this up only for my major gear that I don't get, that I don't need access all the time. Okay, so this would be the belt and just other things that I'm not constantly grabbing. That's for the other pockets. And I really liked that they also had a large pocket. So move this to the side, a large pocket on the side, which you could put anything in here. I primarily use it if I'm going to bring extra guns, my dry fire gear, or let's say if I'm taking, my laser pistols. And speaking about laser pistols, before we move on, we want to thank Laser Ammo. They're a great supporter of the channel, and they offer a huge selection of dry fire training tools. In fact, they are the world leader in high-end laser-based firearms training. They have a wide selection of tools from laser cartridges you can use with your own pistol. They sell recoil-enabled pistols as well, different reactive laser targets, as well as smokeless ranges. So make sure to check them out in the description below. I'm pretty sure you're going to find something that will aid you in your own training. All right, so as I was talking about, this pocket, I really liked it. It was just large. I could put other things in there, and it was a backpack style. I like the very fact that they had the little touches here, like the PAL webbing, so you can put MOLLE things there or different hooks there. I also liked the fact how they had this bottom pocket here, and this houses, a cover, an all-weather cover, but I also like to use this to put any dirty items that I have. Okay, so keeping it away from all the other gear inside of my bag. So there was a lot of thought put into this bag when they designed it. It's very comfortable to use. I haven't used it for more than a year yet, only a couple, several months, but it's held up. It's a good quality here. And I forgot to mention this too, if you do have an exterior gun belt here, one of those really stiff gun belts that doesn't fold or anything like that, they have these two buckles where you can wrap it around, and so your belt can just hang here instead of trying to, stuff that large belt somewhere else. And for those of you who are wondering if you can secure your items in here, you can. There are some locks on here where you can actually lock them here with these heavy-duty zippers. But remember, it's a soft range bag here. If someone really wanted to get into your bag, they could cut it open if they wanted to. So it's not a safe or anything like that. But at least, being able to lock these zippers will give you some kind of security, a level of security. So overall, a great bag. It is now my favorite shooting bag. And, I checked other people out there with the reviews, and people are saying the same thing, kind of like it took them so long to try this bag. But there are two things, though, that I wish this bag had. And they're pretty minor, though. But one of them that is more of an annoying thing, and I don't really know what it is, if I carry lots of gear, and it's really heavy. I got my guns in there. I got lots of ammo, 500, 600, 700 rounds of ammo. I'm putting on my back. There's a little bit of a squeaking sound, only when it's really loaded up. I don't know, it feels like it might be these plastic buckles rubbing against something. I still haven't, taken the time to really know what it is. Again, it's more of an annoyance that, it doesn't really bug me that much. I just kind of go through my day, and as the ammo is being used, that squeak goes away. But there is one thing that I really, really wish it had. So I showed you that previous bag with the cart, and two competitive shooting bags had wheels. One of them was with a cart, and the other one it was like a roller. So when this does get heavy, I do wish that I could roll this, right? And just kind of drag it around. But, overall, though, I still like it a lot. It is something that I use at local matches. Now, if I go to a bigger match, for example, I'd probably use the dolly or something like that so I don't get tired. But for local matches, this is perfect. And if you're the type of shooter who's moving around a lot, at your range, or just, where you don't want to take a big clunky bag with a roller bag or anything like that, this is a really good option. So that wraps up my review of the Safariland Shooter's Range Backpack. A great backpack. I mean, it's not just because they gave it to me. It really did. That's why I want to show you the evolution of what I've went through. It is something that addresses a lot of my pain points. Who knows? Maybe there's some, another option down the road that will address other concerns, like not having wheels. Like when this gets really heavy, it gets really heavy. It's still something that you have to carry, and you can't just roll around. But, I don't mind that much, because as you're going through the day, your backpack is going to get lighter as you use more ammo, because usually ammo is what makes it really, really heavy. So that's my take. Let me know if you have this backpack. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And if you have any questions about the backpack, definitely let us know in the comments too. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.